And we are back. We're here downtown Providence on Westminster Street. There was a bill signing this morning that specifically addressed the, I'll call it housing justice of the LGBTQIA community here in Rhode Island. Astonishingly enough, for the last 20 or so years, an exemption to what most people would call fair housing laws existed in terms of gender expression and LGBTQ participation for housing units of 3 or less, which, as we cast our eyes across the sunset of Pawtucket and Providence and Central Falls, we realize that's probably most of the Rhode Island housing available. I have the privilege of being here with Senator Meghan Kallman, she of Pawtucket D15. She was a sponsor of the Senate side of this legislation. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me and for being here.
I guess the first question is, when you became aware of this exemption at some point in the time, particularly maybe when you were a council person in Pawtucket, what was your initial thought?
I mean, I think the exemption is ridiculous, right? The exemption is probably a function of a political compromise in the 90s, as Rep. Agello alluded to during her remarks today. But as you said in your opening remarks, most of our housing stock in Pawtucket, I also represent some of North Providence, are, we're a city of tenements, right? And so the exemption that existed applied actually to most of the housing that was available in Pawtucket, making discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and or gender identity totally legal.
You spoke quite provocatively in your remarks about the at-risk population being a significant part of which is young, teenage, and younger adults who are part of the LGBTQIA community. In fact, we're standing here, behind us is a sign about Youth Pride. We're standing here in a center that's dedicated to outreach to that very same group. Add on the skyrocketing cost of housing. How difficult has it been for these folks?
I think it's very difficult, right? LGBTQ plus youth face a number of challenges around housing. Parental acceptance is a big one, right? And so if children are thrown out of their homes, right, they are at increased risk for being homeless because they're not in their natal home or their family home. They're also at increased risk for substance abuse, mental health issues. It's a serious problem. The problem is particularly pronounced for trans youth.
What can be done? And I guess I'll plant the seed for a further conversation. Rhode Island, particularly Pawtucket, with its sort of lurching towards gentrification suddenly, what can be done for youth at risk that we're not doing to try and find them a safe space?
Well, I could talk about this one for a very long time, but I think there are a number of issues. Top of the list is we need more housing. We need more spaces for people to live so housing is less expensive, right? We need anti-discrimination laws like some of the ones that we passed today on the books that makes it illegal. We need more community support networks to help youth who are either struggling with their families, need some support in other ways, right? We need a robust social safety net that can help particularly our young people. But again, when our housing stock is bigger, there are more places for everybody to live.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations on your legislation, and we do hope to speak with you in the future.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.